Hello friends, today we will discuss the topic formal and informal organization of work. So let us start now. In sociology, work is a concept rather than an activity. It refers to relationship with other organizations of society like family, socio-economic, political institutions, etc. Till feudal society, work was limited to family only. No specific space for work, no concept of time for work. Industrial society, formalization of work started. Organization of work on the basis of formal institutions, laws and rules, concept of time and space evolved. From pre-industrial to industrial, pre-industrial means slave society, to industrial, it was more of rationalization of work, historical evolution of work. Work as a human activity was informal in character and organization in hunting and gathering and agricultural societies. Agricultural society, that means feudal society. In this society, the work was organized inside the family sphere and the relationship. Family was the chief unit of production. Kinship ties, caste, status, primordial relationship, and traditional economic relationship used to influence the distribution, conditions, scope, and assignment of work to different groups. Time and space as a factor of work was yet to develop. Work relationship between people was not contractual in character rather than traditional in character. Thus, as a whole, the organization of work in pre-industrial society was informal in character. The great historical shift from informal organization of work towards the formal organization of work happened during the early phase of industrial revolution, when large number of peasants, farmers were converted to industrial workers in Europe. Family ceased to be a unit of production unit and limited to consumption only. Factories took the place of family in organization production. Thus, work got associated with concept of space, number of individuals at a particular place. When domestic sphere of work, family was attached with the factory-based production at a particular place, the time divided into two spheres, private time and work time. Thus, the time as a factor of production got associated with industrial production system. In Marxian language, this shift marked the shift from feudal mode of production to capitalistic mode of production. To organize large number of workers from different background, religious, ethnic, caste, status, formal rules and regulations were established. These rules establish the relationship between the employer and employee and all dimensions of work organization. Another development that influenced the form of work were the development of trade unionism and the rise of welfare state in the Western democracies. Trade unions and welfare state further formalized work relationship of factory system of production. This whole process has been analyzed as the progressive development of rationalization in society by some sociologists. The most prominent was the Max Weber. What Max Weber has said, let us study. Max Weber explained the form of work in industrial society as a process of rationalization. According to him, the rational legal authority will dominate the workspace, and typical organization that will come out will be the known as bureaucracy. For Weber, the bureaucracy is the most efficient form of formal organization in industrial society. The formal organization of work can also be seen in industrial production through the concept of scientific management, that is proposed by Taylor, that means Taylorism. The application of the formal organization of work was done by the Henry Ford in his automobile plant, and his methodology of mass production on the basis of assembly line is known as Fordism. So we have to remember the term Fordism, mass production on the basis of assembly line. Formal organization of work. It means organizing work activity through formal institutional rules and regulations. It also means organize permanent and predictable relationship of work with different group in society. Formal organization of work clearly defines the relationship between employer and employee, nature, scope and boundaries of work, roles, responsibilities, status and authority of workers, work's relationship with space and time. The work has to be organized at a particular place during the particular time. So it was a factory system. Conditions of employment, salary, compensation, dispute resolution, etc. as a general process. It also means the process of rationalization of work life and economic activity of society. Now come against the argument against the formal organization of work. Richer, McDonaldization. Richer has coined the term McDonaldization. Same structure of the same institution across the world, that is called McDonaldization. Like in banking system in India, we can witness the same type of activities, process in private banks all over India. So it's a McDonaldization. Increasing rationality leads to the irrational outcomes and it is dehumanizing. So Richer is saying that increasing rationality will lead to dehumanizing. Peter Blow studied informal relations within formal organization and found that they actually tend to increase the efficiency of the worker instead of pulling it down. Informal network bring life into organizations. Now Elton Mayo, study of Hawthorne work of GE in Chicago. It came as a response to classical theory which laid emphasis on formal structure. Mayo believed classical school under-emphasized socio-psychological aspects of informal organization. He found that work satisfaction depended largely upon informal social pattern of work group. Norms of higher cooperation were established because of them. Work is a group activity and group collaboration are not by accident. Informal group within work plant exercise strong social control. He performed some experiments like illumination experiment which study the impact of physiological aspects, relay assembly test tube experiment which studied what impact did change in working condition, financial rest period etc. have on morale. Mass interview program found that hearing grievances may increase the morale, workers' morale. He did not reject classical theory completely, but tried to close its gap, and thus his theory is called neoclassical theory. Now what Merton has said? Bureaucracy is rule ritualism, which provides no space for creativity or own judgment. It leads to displacement of goals as rules become end in itself. What is happening in India? Michel Crozier, through his empirical study of bureaucracy, argued that it has failed to fulfill the expectations of people and has refused to learn from its mistakes. It is a system which can destroy itself from within and hence not entirely rational. Alvin Goldner sees in his study of industrial mind that bureaucracy is not present and required everywhere in a modern society. He observes that inside a mine, supervisor and workers share an informal relation to overcome hazard and maximize efficiency. But in industry, they follow a more rule-bound and hierarchical relationship. Burns and Stacker, what they have said, favor de-bureaucratization of many industry like software industry, creative industry, etc. They argue that a system should not be mechanistic like bureaucracy but organic. Organic systems are more efficient, responsive, flexible, most efficient if properly nurtured. Robert Mitchell's what has argues that bureaucracy is sworn enemy of individual liberty. Thus, he equates organization with oligarchy. Now, what is McDonaldization? What Ridger has coined the term? Neo-Fordism. It is also known as Neo-Fordism. Concept given by George Ridger based on Weber's theory of rationalization. Weber's formal rationalization was limited to bureaucratic organization, while McDonaldization shows the spread of formal rationality in work organization in all spheres of public life. For example, homogeneous mass production of garment, homogeneous service institutions like banking institutions are developing. Here, homogeneous mass production of garment, that means you can witness in the different malls and shops. Almost similar kind of clothes are there, but different brands, different names throughout the world. George Ridger argued that money banking shows the extreme form of Neo-Fordism in contemporary world. The entire work of banking activity is based on computerization, credit and debit cards and digital directories. Ridger argued that the money banking is post-industrial society is only change of numbers, digitization. This has created digitization of banking work organization across the world, where human activity to organize work is quite limited. Ridger has mentioned 4 characteristics of McDonaldization: efficiency, calculability, predictability, and control through non-human technologies, computerization. However, as argued by many sociologists, the formal organization of work can also be seen promptly in post-industrial society. Although many of the sociologists believe that work organization is heading towards informality in a post-industrial society. Now come to the topic about informal organization of work. Basically, it's a post-industrial society. Informality we are already witnessing the term. Informal organization of work. Pre-industrial society there was informal organization of work. Industrial society it was more about formalization. Formal organization of work as dominant force. Informal organization of work confined only to domestic, craft-based and unorganized sector-based work. Now let us see about what is the basic characteristic of informal organization of work. As a whole, we can argue that informal organization of work means work is organized not on the basis of formal institutional rules but flexible and fluid and relative rules based on rapid changing situation. In informal organization of work, time and space are also not important factors. Informal organization of work in post-industrial society. Daniel Bell, what he has said? He has argued that in post-industrial society, hierarchical work structure will be modified by small ad hoc temporary work group, committees and groups on the basis of projects. We can witness in IT industries here in India. These developments will lead to emergence of new industrial structural forms of non-bureaucratic organizations. The most prominent feature of this work organization is small working group. Small working group. Now, Alvin Toffler has termed this new type of work organization of adhocracy. Ulrich Beck. According to Ulrich Beck, the Fordist system of mass production, mass consumption, and standardized full employment is in the process of being transformed, largely due to the growth of knowledge and IT. And as a result of flexible, pluralized, decentralized, and risk-prone work organization is evolving in post-industrial society. Flexible, pluralized, decentralized, and risk-prone work organization is evolving. That's why a system is changing. In this new pattern of work organization, unemployment disappears but again reappears in the generalized type of risky underemployment. The major characteristic of this new informal organization is part-time employment. According to him, uneven growth of part-time employment in Europe and other industrial capitalist society is a symbol of wider trend towards labor market flexibility. This informal organization of work will benefit the employers but will create disorder for employees. It will also adversely affect the service conditions of women and their employment. Ulrich Beck and Manuel Cassel, what they have said? They have talked about 4 basic kinds of informal work structure: contractual, destandardization, creating self-employment; spatial destandardization, creating home working tendency; temporal destandardization, creating temporary work; total de-standardizations, paid informal workforce. Now Anthony Giddens, what he has said: informal organization in post-industrial society is reflected under 3 categories: group production, flexible production, global production. According to Giddens, concept of multi-skill will decide the work opportunities. Inside the organization, rise a portfolio worker. A proper portfolio means a proved machine will be the dominating trend. So it's all about. Thank you very much.